the opportunity to do until they are well into their master's program. So they are going to be well prepared when they go to Rose High School next year to take any science that they choose. So any path they choose, they have got this wonderful skill set in their back pocket that they can pull out at any time. So I'm very proud of them.
I see the different colors. Is it all the same fungi?
Yeah. Are we allowed to do that?
Just added something to it.
Okay.
Cool. I like that.
Right here, right?
You know what your guys can do, don't you?
Is that okay?
You can grow your own flashlights,
Y'all ready?
and they'll last forever.
That's right.
It does close.
It glows.
Hold it up so everybody can see.
Grow your own flashlight.
Parts of it does and parts of it
That's
does
called
not.
biotechnology.
Cool.
Okay, on behalf of the Pitt County Board of Education, we proudly recognize all of you for creating excellence in the East.
Thank you.
And we just appreciate all of what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully this will carry you a long way.
Yes,
Call their names out.
absolutely.
I'll shake your hand.
Okay. James Simpson.
You just want to line up.
If you want to come stand right in the middle of the
Yeah,
youth.
right. They're going to get us a picture.
Yes, that's
Okay. Gyra Cherry.
Congratulations.
There you go. Jalexis Pettiford.
Congratulations.
Mercedes Heath.
Congratulations.
Timothy Moore. And Jayla Congleton.
Congratulations. And we'll get a picture.
Okay? Perfect.
Here we go. We want to look this way. You all over?
Gyra, you got it.
Yeah. You move up there. Get in front of me. You make me look tall.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We don't have. Listen, we need to go back. We approved the changes, but we need to approve the agenda as,
Motion to approve.
And I second, Mr. Chairman.
all right?
You are future
Motion.
scientists, young people, so
Yes.
keep that
Very
in the back
good.
of your head.
All those in
Move forward.
favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Great job.
Good job.
Okay, no public expression. Consent items for approval.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the agenda. Number
Second.
3.
Mark made a motion and Ms. Mildred seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Items approved. New business. Finance update. Deborah?
Good evening.
Evening.
Tonight I've got an update on the finance department. What we have got basically for the budget is we have received that reduction from the state that we were waiting on so that we'll be able to move forth with the budget. The main impact was that to charter school, was from the charter schools. And this was in your packet. And it's basically a breakdown of all of the reductions from DPI. And how they handle this is they have a funding allotment. So they take across all your different categories. We don't have any say in how they take that back, okay? So they just use their funding allotment, and that's how they make those reductions, based on the number of students. And this was from the funding for the new charter, just from the opening of the new charter. Okay? So basically, we lost about 24 positions, which was in effect about $2 million. All that was actually planned for in the budget because we knew that this new school would be opening. And then in addition, what you have in front of you is we have an impact, not only does it affect our state dollars, but opening of a charter school impacts us on a local level. So the money that we get from the county commissioners for our county appropriation, we have to pay a portion of that to each one of the charter schools based on their ADM that they have of Pitt County students. So you see there's a breakdown, and it lists all the charters and how many students they have, both this year and last year. And it's a total of 1.1 million, but last year we had paid 432,000, so it's an increase of around 700,000. So then if you look at the state and local together, you're basically looking at a $3 million impact from the charters are having on our funding source. So we'll go from here and we'll work on the budget. We'll take that to the finance committee meeting and I'll have a full budget for the board next month. Do you have any questions?
I got a question. Going back to students residing in Pitt County, so you're saying, is this right, we got 758
Yes.
students that are going to?
So what we take is Pitt County students plus all the charter students from Pitt County that are going elsewhere,
To
and you
other charter
allocate it
schools.
based on the total.
Right, and then that money follows all of those students.
Correct.
And thank goodness we had planned basically
Yes,
for
we
this.
had planned for that.
So that it's not something drastic that we have to work with now.
Right.
So
it's still a
that
lot
looks
of money.
forward, I mean, we're to be commended on that.
Deborah, have we picked up any students from the charter schools, specifically from Winterville Charter, since the school year started?
I'm not aware of that information. Kay would probably have that as far as, the increase from the,
I know in
I believe
a
that there
neighboring
has
county,
been
they've
some.
received some back as well.
And so what DPI looks at is day 20 and day 40, and so after that,
It
it
doesn't matter
won't
if they
really
do come
impact
back.
us. Right.
If they come back, we still
We'll get the
get
students, but not the funding.
not the
That's right.
fund.
Wait a minute, say that again.
If after the day 20,
40.
I mean
They look
40,
at 20 and 40.
20 and 40, if the student comes back to Pitt County schools,
The money don't come
the
with
money
it.
does not come back.
But I thought we got a portion of what?
The
The
state,
state
Local-
part we won't
local-
get because they've done their allotment, but for local,
We
they
don't
bill
get
on a
any.
monthly or quarterly
It's
basis. So
prorated.
if that enrollment were to go down, they wouldn't continue to get those funds from the local side.
Well, what is our part of that 500, 5,500, because it's approximately about what they get, right? With
They get
state
about
and local.
5,500 plus
Plus.
about 1,500 local. So altogether, it's about 7,000 per student.
7,000.
any other questions?
And then the last sheet you've got there is more how it equates in dollars to each one of those agencies and how much they would actually get based on the local share.
Any questions?
All right, thank you.
Is that it?
That's it.
Comments by the superintendent?
But I still got one
You
question.
got a question?
I do have a question.
Deborah, come back to,
Come back.
Mary's got a
The,
question.
the, the part that they're asking for cafeteria funding, the lunches and all of that, that's federal? Or do we have to pay that too?
So we don't have any, it won't have impact on our, child nutrition department. That's based on a meal reimbursement. So for every meal we serve, we get that back. They're not entitled to any part of the child nutrition except maybe a school breakfast
Okay,
that they serve.
all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Comments by the superintendent?
Just, couple, if you had a chance to go see Miss Jennifer Stahl's classroom, it's an amazing room. The kids are doing, as they showed you, I was in there just a couple weeks ago watching the students. It was just great. The kids were just all over the place, on task. Nobody was sitting there off doing whatever. They were all engaged, moving from station to station, everybody doing something a little bit different. Just really good to see.
All right. Mildred,
Comments? Okay.
comments?
Okay. I do have some tonight.
You must be feeling better.
She is feeling better.
Okay, I just like to say that I really was impressed with the students that just left, and it shows you that if you have teachers that are great and believe in their students and give them the exposure, they can truly excel and do well. So I saw future scientists tonight. So I commend that teacher and CMF's middle school for such a awesome exposure of our young people. Also, I got a chance to go on 2 tours recently with the Parents for Public Schools group, Welcome Middle, which I was really impressed with what they're doing. They believe in that all kids are scholars, even though it may not be coming out right now, but if you believe in them and promote them, you can get many more than what you ever realized. So I like the principal's, Mr. Maurice's approach with believing that all kids can be excellent. And I like the idea of him having exposure to colleges throughout that building, starting early in middle school. That was awesome. And then the early college at PCC was another program I was really impressed with going on that tour. And it felt like he was really in a real college classroom setting. I reflected back when I was in college, just being there. It was awesome. And tomorrow is Election Day. We'd love for all of you to get the vote out, and because it's very important. And just remember that local elections are very key, and as President of our United States has said, that the winners of tomorrow's election will be in charge of your police, your jobs programs, your public transit, your affordable housing, your utilities, power bills, city taxes, zoning, and in my case, putting frat houses right down the street in front of your house, and student housing all around you, which is not what I voted for when I was on council, so I have an issue with that. And, because that is not a sustainable community that we fought hard for, so I just want to throw that out. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Caroline?
I'd just like to congratulate Maurice Harris, the Principal of the Year. Welcome, and Shannon Cecil, who's the AP of the Year at Pactolus. The Farm Bureau sponsored a beautiful event last month, honoring them and the other nominees. So I want to thank the Farm Bureau, a fantastic partner for Pitt County Schools. I also want to highlight, I hope I'm not stealing your thunder, anybody. D.H. Conley students, JROTC collected over $53,000. Am I stealing somebody's thunder? For the children of wounded, fallen, and disabled veterans, which is the most, not just in the county or the state, it's the most collected at any JROTC in the country. That is incredible, and apparently they've done that for 4 out of the past 5 years, and that's enough money to send almost 100 children of veterans to camp. That's incredible, and I'd love to see them come here and us give them recognition, because that is really incredible. They stood out and collected that. Also like to give a shout out to Mr. Tim Peden. He came to us, I believe, in September and talked about a program he was starting, a reading program with volunteers. And 1 month later, he got it off the ground, had a great, I think many of you were there, had a great kickoff and did a fantastic job. Was so proud of him. It's just a great example of somebody seeing a need, figuring out who to work with, getting involved, and making it happen. And my hat's off to him, and we need more people like him doing that in Pitt County Schools.
Sean?
Thank you, sir. I always have been, am, and always will be very proud to sit in this seat and represent a school system that takes the safety and well-being of each child that we serve day in and day out as of paramount importance. I'm very proud of the way this school system responded to the acts of some cowardly people in the past 2 weeks, and we needed the cooperation of the whole community, parents, law enforcement, and our school system. Rest assured, we were ready. We've put a lot of money and time into planning strategically with safety, upgraded cameras, upgraded safety systems to protect our most valuable commodity. Every day, parents look at us and they say, we trust you with our children, and we will not let you down, despite the acts of a couple of cowards. We will respond appropriately, with calmness, with confidence, and we will take care of your children. We are ready. Thank you, sir.
Mark?
Just an important note today, report cards were issued. Parents, please make sure that you take time to review those and be an active part of what goes on with your child's education. I think public schools are doing better than they ever have. So please make sure to take part in that with what's going on with your child in their schools.
I would just reiterate that. My granddaughter came home this afternoon, ran in the house and said, "Grandpa, you owe me $50. I mean, boy, it's too big. I ain't worried the price go up.
You did give it to her, right?
No.
I know where it's at. It's in the egg money out there.
I know, I gave her a little bit, but I am proud of it. But that is true. Everyone needs to look at your child's grades and take a part in it and an interest in their grades and commend them. If they made a C and that is all that they can make and they tried their best, then they need to be commended for it. And as long as they're putting forth the best effort, that's what counts. Also, I would just like to thank the board. I've enjoyed being the chair for the last 2 years. I think we've had some good meetings. We've got a lot accomplished. We haven't had very many contentious meetings. The biggest item was the 2 minutes that we had at the end. Ms. Mills.
Taking my voice away.
But anyway, I would just, grief, I can't believe it. I want to thank all of you for what, just being supportive and for enjoying and working with the superintendent and the system. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To be very, very quick, I just want to reiterate what Mildred said about tomorrow. It is a wonderful day for us as Americans to be able to exercise our freedom by voting, and I would encourage everyone to do that. And also, Walter and I had the opportunity, along with other board members, to be a part of that Read to Achieve, and Tim Peden does do a great job promoting our schools and promoting that effort. And it's a wonderful effort, and it's just the epitome of what so many of our citizens do in Pitt County every day, and parents, grandparents, and those that are associated with our schools and with our kids to promote the good things that are happening in our schools. And I want to thank the citizens of this county for their support of Pitt County schools in efforts such as that.
Mary?
Hello. Well, anyway, I was able to participate in the school tour at the early college, which was wonderful. The kids were very, very hands-on. The instructors were very, very hands-on. And it was just exciting to be there to see the students so engaged in what they were learning. I would also like to say this. I didn't get a chance last time to congratulate Maurice Harris, who's the principal at Welcome. He's the principal of the year. But I just got to brag a little bit now, because since I've been on this board, I've had Maurice Harris, the principal of the year. Mr. Kingsbury, last week, was teacher of the year from North Pitt. He's the new band instructor. And when, a couple of years ago, they had got rid of all the funding for arts, and Dr. Cato and myself asked for my body back, and I want somebody there, and we want band and the whole nine. And so we were able to make that happen. And we went from 20 students to about 100 students in the band. And they did their first marching band presentation last Friday night, if I'm correct, in a band competition also, Dr. Cato. And then I also had Shannon Cecil this year, who is Assistant Principal of the Year at Pactolus. I've had Steve Lassiter, 2015. Not only was he the Principal of the Year here, Regional Principal of the Year, but also the State Principal of the Year. In 2015, I had Matthew Robertson, who was the Principal of the Year down at Northwest. In 2014, I had Jennifer James, who was Assistant Principal of the Year. And I remember being in a board meeting, and I said, I didn't want anyone in my district who would not grind it out for our students. And that's what these principals are doing, our administrators are doing. Dr. Cato, I got him, he was principal the year before I got him. So, I'm very proud of what my district is doing and improving upon. So, thank you.
I was waiting for the golf ball.
He better not put that gavel down.
You ever watch that show?
Walter, time.
I just want to say, we got a great school system. I got a little fella that's in the first grade, and he enjoys going to school. He loves riding the bus, and I said it before. He loves riding the bus, he loves going to school, and he likes his teacher. Now, he may not make the best grades in the world, but that's okay.
No, it ain't.
The three things that I think that are important is that he loves going to school. And we do have a good system. It ain't perfect, but it's a good system.
We appreciate that. Billy?
I guess I'm gonna give out the bad news tonight. The bad news is how much money we spent for unitary status. And you know, you think about publicly, we paid out $448,881. Can you imagine how many teachers this would have bought? Or how many notebooks this would have bought? Yet, the person that brought these lawsuits against us, they didn't have to invest not one dime. Something is wrong with this system today, that we have to pay out all this money for these lawsuits, but yet, they don't have to pay out a dime. And the public needs to know this, how much we paid out to this unitary status. Thank you.
Can I have
All
the last
right.
few minutes? It's good news. It's
Wait,
really-
let me end the meeting, then you
Okay.
can do it.
Well, he got a whole minute left.
Motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
I second it.
Any discussion?
Yes.
You don't have discussion on the motion.
No, I know. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Mary, what do you got to say?
Christine had her first grandbaby. Christine Waters.
Waters.
Christine Waters had her first grandbaby.
See there, we got it in.
That's right. And we want
Cynthia
to wish,
did the
and we
best
want